Welcome everybody to another edition of Cold Blooded Conversations. It's your boy Wally here. Johnny will be a little bit behind, but welcome to the new year, everybody. This is the second show I've done for the new year on Speedway Stories. I did Monday night. Had my guest Tyler Peters on here. Me and Johnny did. I think the show went really well. The month of January on the motorsports side is looking pretty good for guests, and still working on some more guests and everything else for the show. We'll see how the rest of the January plays out and going into February and stuff until race season starts, and we'll go from there. Tonight, if you guys didn't notice, I'll drop down real quick. This is a logo I worked on and sent. It's my new podcast logo for Cold Blooded Conversations and everything, and he put his touches to it because I'm not very savvy with doing that stuff. I found it, unfortunately, yeah, it's AI and everything else, but still, I found the start to it, and he put touches to it, and I'll have a new one to share Monday night on Speedway Stories that he fixed up for me and everything else as well. But yeah, tonight just pretty much talking animals, reptiles. One of the topics I wanted to talk about was the something that doesn't get talked about much unless you're more talk about like for the venomous keepers, everything else. What's up, Remy? What's up, Remy? How you doing? And their protocols and everything else. Plus, I want to talk some about U.S. ARC and everything else, what they do for our animal rights. Um, they're right now starting the new year off in 4 or 5 states, doing some battles with lawmakers and everything else that doesn't understand us reptile keepers and actually just keepers in general, but mostly U.S. ARCs for your reptile keepers and everything else. And they do that to protect our laws and everything. And they help us keep our animals that we love. I mean, yes, unfortunately, there's people that abuse it and everything else that take advantage of that stuff and everything and ruin it for us keepers that actually do good with our animals, that we try to educate the younger generation and people that fear their stuff. So it's just one of those deals that something that we deal with as the keepers of it and everything else, and it just sucks that because of people being irresponsible and everything else, it hurts the ones that are responsible, that follows the rules, the guidelines, and all that stuff, and they it just makes it rough on everybody to keep them and stuff. And it just, yeah, it's one of those deals. There's, I think it was Connecticut and a few other ones that are coming up with new laws that are banning everything from exotic animals. I've been reading on there. There's one town wanting to ban everything exotic, but yet, as much as most people don't want to believe it, our most common house pets are dogs and cats are honestly more dangerous than keeping reptiles, keeping our snakes and our and stuff like that. But yeah, it's one of those that it just sucks. I mean, that's how it is, and it's just getting worse. And hang on, trying to look up the one of the places that it is it's causing us that and everything else. So But yeah, uh, honestly, my favorite reptile. I love my snakes. I mean, they're one of my favorites, but I like a lot of them. Um, Different lizards, my iguanas, tegus, monitors, any of the monitor family, water monitors, savanna monitors. I like those and everything else, and I mean, they're experienced, so um, experienced keepers, everything else. What's up, Robert? Thanks for joining. But yeah, it just depends on the keeper, the education, the teach everything and learn because you're always learning the process of keeping animals to make their lives better. Um, some of these reptiles that people are actually keeping and breeding, most of them are extinct in the wild and stuff. So it makes it they're trying to keep it going, and politics are playing a role in it, saying a lot of them can't be done anymore because, like I said, once again, irresponsible people. Um, they are actually more with this, not so much all of them had come to that conclusion with the to answer that the feathers and stuff. Um, I think they do to an extent, certain ones. If you go through, yeah, there's a few out there. Those, yeah, black snakes are good to have around. They keep your rodent population down. Robert, that's the thing. But yeah, it's just it, with keeping animals, it's a lot of with these reptiles. It's a lot of special care time. Honestly, it's like kids, taking care of them, making sure they're properly taken care of, and everything else, and that they don't have uh, and everything, so that they're properly raised where they live happy lives. Unfortunately, there's people that let things get taken out of hand. Some of them take on stuff that they shouldn't have because they didn't do research on them. Um, One of the biggest kind too that has a lot of the issues is like your tortoises, your sulcata tortoises. They start out as the little small, cute little tortoises. Those things need at least an acre to 2 acres of area to cover and stuff because they can outlive us. They can live up to 100 years old if they're properly taken care of. And but yeah, but people buy them what they call impulse buying, and it sucks because it's hurting the animals more than it is the people because they're not educated on them. And like I said, they see cute little animals in the pet store, um, everything else, so they're making money off of it where it's that way. And it just and like I said, animals are being punished for it. But yeah, USR on that with that hands of feet seed, um, with the big snakes, a lot of that bullshit is folklore stuff. I follow a lot of big snake keepers like the retics, the berms, and stuff. Um, they with them, it's once again it comes to being educated on them. The proper education. You got to understand their body language. They have moods just like us, except they show it with their body language and everything else that makes it where you have to understand it because that's the way they are. But yeah, big snakes, they honestly they don't size you up. Yes, there has been reports over in other countries of retics and stuff attacking small kids, mostly anacondas, stuff like that. But it's just and to answer if it was starving, honestly, you that person should not be keeping them because of the what they eat and everything else. This comes back to being properly educated on big snakes. Um, that it's honestly. They are one of the more experienced type years. Exactly, they shouldn't be starving. That's the thing. Most of these big snakes, they start out small. I have ball pythons. Biggest one I have, she's about 5.5 foot long. Um, she's maybe that big around. Yes, I've been bit by her, but it's because I made a stupid decision with trying to handle her after doing a feeding with the others. Um, but yeah, with the big snakes though, it comes over lots of experience, lots of hands-on, properly showed how to handle the feeding, everything else with them. And if you own big snakes, don't try to handle them and maneuver them around by yourself because accidents do happen. Um, they're not doing it. These snakes and stuff don't do it out of aggression. It's a defensive thing. People think it's one of those deals that it's straight up bullshit. Um, Most of the time when they people get bit or anything like that by their pets, it's because either A, they weren't paying attention to what they're doing, or they didn't properly clean their hands and clothing because it was a feeding day or whatever else. What's up, Haas? How you doing, Bubba? But yeah, they don't have. Everybody makes mistakes. It happens. But then there's, like I said, the irresponsible ones. Um, there's actually a YouTube channel need that's been reported multiple times because all the dumb shit that they do on there just for click views of using Burmese and retics and stuff on there, showing them killing other animals just for the hell of it, live prey. I mean, yes, that's part of nature, but I would never show feeding of a live animal. That's just something I'd prefer not to. And that you brought up a good point. This is where I was coming next. Honestly, we have more issues with dogs and cats than we ever do anything of these of the reptiles or in the animal kingdom. I have not. Honestly, I need to. But yeah, I'll get to that here in a second on my opinion on that ordeal. But no, with it's just once again, dogs, cats. It doesn't matter what it is. If you have them, they're not just pets. I look at them, my family, they are part of the family. Um, just like anything, you keep them, you raise them, no matter what. You got to do what you got to do. But there's so many stray cats and everything else out there. Hey, buddy, what's happening? You're good, man. I just stuff about the differences with all the stray cats, everything else. That's they're more prone, but people want to take. I'm talking about some rights and everything else. The I told you about on your podcast about the U.S. Ark, everything else.
Yes, sir.
So, but yeah, what and people don't want to take responsibility. It's like I said, it's like having a kid and stuff, being responsible and everything, and they just uh, d- don't want it anymore. They get tired of it or whatever. Then they just with cats. My neighborhood is full of a bunch of stray cats. They cause honestly more damage to our ecosystem than what they're dealing with in the Everglades. Yes, the Burmese pythons pandemic is hurting, but our bird populations and everything else, due to the felines being released like they are, it doesn't help matters none. So I mean but yeah, other than that, I mean, if you're responsible, you shouldn't have nothing to be. Yeah, because the cats actually have the bacteria in their mouth, everything else. So,
Oh,
but yeah, it's one of those deals. It just sucks. People like me and other people I know that keep these reptiles and other animals, exotic animals, they they're being punished because of irresponsibility. But once again, you don't see them going after your cat keepers, your dogs, or anything else. These people that are releasing them all the time. It's always something that they're going after what they don't understand. It's back to that fear deal. Like we've
Yeah.
talked before, Johnny, you fear what you don't understand. Remember
Yeah.
how you told me about that?
Yeah. Or could I say also, fear what you think you understand, but there's more to know about it.
Right. Yeah, and the sad part is that's what a lot of this is. It is it's just not understanding the livelihood of a lot of these because I've talked to it before, and Johnny, well, actually Johnny's first show with me on this, we were talking about this, that people fear the stuff that they don't understand, and it's uh it's taught just like anything else. Most of the
Yeah.
shit is it's taught by somebody. It's not because you learned it on your own. Do you think that's what most of it is? That's my opinion on it. Just like hate's
And if you
taught,
think it,
not liking people is because somebody does. What do you think on that, Johnny? Do you think that's what it is? I mean, it's the fear thing because somebody said, "Oh, I don't like that, so I got to jump on the bandwagon." What's your opinion on
well,
it?
yeah. Well, yeah. Uh, how do I say? Uh, the snowball effect, if you will, of once it starts and it that just spreads opinionatively, and then before you know it, well, people are asked. Well, if they do ask themselves, why do I think this other than, well, I've heard it a million times before?
Right. I mean, it's just, and that's what it is. It's just one of those deals that it's like that, and it sucks. It's that way.
Well, 9 out of 10 of the time, you go back to the root of it in situations like this, and you find that, given all the hearsay and back and forth, there was a whole other side to this to be known, knowledge wise, that wasn't even talked about.
Right. And it is. It's knowledge is power. Just like
Yeah.
for you, you're doing your tattoo thing. I mean, if
Yeah.
people don't understand it, well, I don't like it because they can't give you a reason. Well, so and so told me I don't like this stuff because it's a permanent thing.
Right.
Well, educate yourself. What's up, James?
Yeah, good to see you, brother.
So, but yeah, I mean that's the thing of it is it's just one of those deals that I hate it as much as I hate to say it. That's how it is. I mean, so,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, I don't without trying to properly educate. Then you got this younger generation coming up. Some of them do understand, and some of them because they were still the fear mongrels. Like I've said before, oh, I watched the movie. That's why I don't like them.
Yeah.
Give it time. I remember.
Well, yeah.
So I mean, I remember as a kid, the first time a buddy of mine, one of my classmates, we had a. It was like fifth grade. We had a show and tell. They actually before Ohio had the law, you could keep. They were still allowed to keep Burmese. He
Yes.
brought in his dad brought in their pet Burmese snake. It was a good 12, 13 foot long snake. I'm the only one because I was curious because you know how they have the iridescent shine to them. It looks like they're
Yeah.
slimy. So I asked, can I touch it and see if it's slimy? No, it's just the way the lighting and their scales give off. Snakes aren't the only ones. There's lizards out there. There's even birds that's got the coloration to them and everything else that shows
Well,
the stuff that.
uh, how do I say? That misconception is actually fueled part of a phobia with reptiles, snakes included. As people
Yeah.
would look at the so-called sliminess of them, and think, "Oh, that's disgusting." It's not the sliminess at all. It's just the iridescence of the scales.
Um, hands of feed, they'll be honest with you, bud. This question, personally, on a note, um, I've learned over the years. I'll put it out here just now. I was bullied all the way through school up until my sophomore year of high school. I tried to be a people person. Um, I still try to be, but I had enough of the bullying. I've had a calm demeanor to an extent, unless you fuck with my family or with a friend that I'm real close with. You'll meet your grave. But no, I've tried to have the calm demeanor and stuff. But there is a side of me that most people wouldn't want to see, and I try to leave that buried. But yeah, other than that, yeah, this is me. You get what you see. And if people don't like it, like I've told them many times before, there's the door. You don't have to be around. I just anymore. I'm not for that shit. So
Understandable.
yeah, but yeah. Other than that, I mean, and that's the thing with and what's good with the reptiles. Yes, you hit it right on the head. The keeper has to have a clear head, no distractions, because your animal's like anything. It goes off of instinct. They react.
Yes.
So if you're like a dog, we'll do a dog prime example.
Yeah.
If you show fear to a dog, yes, it will buffalo you until its last breath, basically.
Yeah.
That's their way of showing who's boss because it's their sense that they have of, oh, I sense fear, so I'm gonna fuck with this person and I'm gonna buffalo them, growl, da 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 da, everything else.
Mm,
Snakes, lizards, mainly my main thing. The big thing is prime example of close to being a dog is the monitor lizard family or lizards period family, tegus and monitors. They are
yes.
actually some of the most intelligent animals there is in the reptile community. Thanks for coming in, Brett. We'll see you later. Have a good night.
Very good to see you.
Uh, but yeah, they are very intelligent. They're Jacob's organ. That's why snakes and lizards are constantly flicking their tongues, like the monitors, the tegus. They're picking up scents. They you can't force the handling. You can't force them to be. You constantly got to work with them daily. Um, and they build the trust and everything else with you. I know people that's got lizards. They will sit in your lap all night long like a dog. I follow a couple YouTube channels. Big ass Asian water monitors, puppies, tegus, puppies. Yes, they'll have their moments, but this is
Yeah.
where the body language, everything else comes into play. You got to understand your animal.
Yes.
Education, education. That is the key. So,
Mm,
but that's on that ordeal. I mean, but yeah, and like I said at the beginning, go look up U.S. ARC. It is our United States reptile keepers. Go give them a follow on all social media platforms. Support their cause because not only if they're coming after our reptiles, next will be your birds, your
yes.
dogs, your cats, your fish,
Yeah.
everything. I mean, it's a lot of them right now. There is communities that are going after everything but a dog or a cat. So it's just sad to see.
Well, it's a pyramid scheme mindset, right? You start here, and then before you know it, it's all the way down.
Right. Yeah, it is. Well, and like I said, it all falls downhill. It all falls downhill because, like I said, it's the educational side of things. And you got some of these, we'll bring this up. I hate to bring up bad shit, but like you said, you get that negative energy on panels, Johnny.
Yes.
You've got negative YouTube channels out there in the reptile world. Um, we'll catch you later on, buddy. Thanks for stopping in, Hands of Seeds. I appreciate it. Great
It's good to
questions
see you.
tonight too, by the way, man. I appreciate that. I love that when
Right.
I got Chatter's box asking. But there's so many channels out there that also that are giving people the bad name.
Yeah.
But there's also educational side. Um,
Oh,
I'm
indeed.
gonna throw it out there. It's one of my favorite channels. Yes, the guy may act like a goofball, but he's a young guy. One of my favorite keepers of venomous and everything else, gators and all that stuff. And that's Chandler. It's Chandler's Wild World. He's on
Yeah.
YouTube. Check him out. Um, Brian
Sounds
Barczyk's
familiar.
channel, God Rest the Man's Soul. He's one of the reasons I got into wanting to keep ball pythons. Um,
That man showed a passion for what he does.
that's one of your favorite guys, yes, and they're continuing on.
Yeah.
They have what they call now the Legacy Reptarium. They just opened a new aquarium and reptile zoo across the street in Utica, Michigan. Um, his wife and staff and families carrying on his legacy. That's why it's called the Legacy. Um, but yeah, Barchek is another one. He was one that I looked up to for the YouTube. At first, he was doing the trend of all the other ones where it was originally called Snake Bites TV. It'd
Yep.
be he'd do videos of his coworkers and himself getting bit by snakes just to get views
Yeah.
and stuff. And he finally seen his ways. He goes, "Man, I could educate people." And ever since then, I followed him since day one. Um,
Hmm.
became very educational. I learned a lot, and I'm glad to see it continuing on with his family. Then you have Chandler with the venomous side. I could list a lot of them, a lot of channels.
Yes,
Brian
indeed.
Cusco, um, Trap Talk podcast, dude out of California, man. He's got a huge ass podcast following, sponsored by Morph Market, which sells all your animals here in the United States with all the reputable breeders, plus in Europe and stuff. You could get
Hmm.
animals from there. But he's got some badass podcast shows he does with some of the top notch keepers in this country, man. It's fucking amazing. But yeah,
Hmm.
Barczyk's a prime example of turning a negative situation into a positive to educate people.
It,
I mean, come on. The channel's up to almost 2 million subscribers now in the lifetime of that channel. You tell me that
yeah.
people aren't educated by them.
It's the prime meaning of awareness.
Oh yeah. Then you have, like I said, I could make a list. I'll go through and make a
For
list
sure.
and download on here of channels for people in cold blood conversations that would love to learn more stuff. And
Yes,
you're
sir.
gonna everybody does things a little different on their keeping, but it gets the same results. It's always a positive result. So I mean,
Indeed.
there's always a good of that. So I mean that's the plus side. I've learned so much.
For sure.
Um, I've told you before. One of the prime monitor guys, Tom Crutchfield, Kevin McCurley of Nerd out of New Hampshire. That dude is an animal whisperer. I will next Thursday. I will put a link into his monitor training from the day the monitor hatches out of the egg to his adult, where he can walk in the cage that they're in, and they'll crawl up on his arm and just sit in his lap and stuff.
See, that the commitment and understanding that takes to, well, let's say reptiles' emotional wavelength, how it might be differing from, let's say, other types of animals. Being able to understand that and work with it
Right.
shows patience. It shows commitment. It shows passion for your work.
Oh
It
yeah,
shows
it
it shows a passion for the understanding of nature.
yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. That's what he does, and it's amazing. He's very educational. He's very advocate and everything else about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, he does run a business side where he sells animals and stuff, but he also educates in the process.
Well,
So
let's say even that. People think that once you get too far into business and the corporate side of things takes over, you can keep your passion while you're also doing business. It's a very fine line to walk, but it just shows how much you appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah, and he's one of the few that does it. He really is. He is one of the few. Now that I one of the other topics that I wanted to talk about tonight, coming up was the I brought up about venomous keepers. Um, what that most of the ones I go through that I follow, they have a protocol that they got. I
Mm-hmm.
actually have it's called a bite protocol book, and it's about the different anti venoms, everything else. Believe it or not, I actually ended up getting one of the bite protocol books for Vipper Day, for the rattlesnakes of every breed of rattlesnake and the anti venom that's available for you having these, and it gives you step by step what to do. Um,
Right on.
but oh yeah, man, it's freaking cool. It's called Snake Bite Institute. It's out of Florida. It's available regularly. You can go on there. It's $2 and you get a binder of whatever class you want of the different venomous snakes. They got Elapidae, Viperdae, um, Nauseas, which is the Cobra the King Cobra, original King Cobra sides,
Oh,
stuff like that. Gives you all the bite protocols, the style anti venom, tells you what happens with all what can happen to you if it's not treated. I mean, it goes through step of everything, and
huh.
that's a requirement that a lot of the good keepers have that are keeping these exotic venomous snakes. Yes, there's some that there isn't an anti-venom that they keep, but there is anti-venom that'll slow down certain animals,
For sure.
but you'll still have damage done, skin damage, neurological or whatever, if it's caught in time. um, Unfortunately, bringing up another sad note,
Yeah.
Dingleman
Yeah.
build up an allergic reaction to venom because of dry venom on the glass from his animals cleaning and stuff. His body basically became allergic to it like a bee sting. And unfortunately, doing his passion, education, took a bite and the anti venom didn't work. It actually took his body, took him from us. So we lost another ambassador that was really advocating for animals because
Oh,
he built an allergic reaction over 30 years of keeping venomous snakes. I didn't know you could get allergic reaction from
uh,
venom because it's on the glass cleaning it. I did not
well,
know it became a dust particle that you breathe in, like basically like fiberglass or anything like that,
yeah.
the dust particles. I did not know that until I started watching him getting educated that he had allergic reaction to venom, but he still loved his passion.
Yeah. I always thought, on the other hand of things, people always built up an immunity to it.
Some do, some don't.
Wow.
Yeah, I
See,
mean, and then unfortunately, he was one of those ones that was the good ones that didn't get an immune to him
but
because go ahead, Johnny.
I was just gonna say it raises questions, brother. It raises questions on what were the genes, the exact DNA that caused that to not take hold and not happen.
The sad part is we'd never know unless we actually got into the research. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
there's places that are researching this stuff. The Kentucky Zoo, they're big on anti venom. They make anti venom throughout for the country. Besides
Oh,
that, Snake Bite Institute in Florida, um, but they still can't figure out why people build an allergic reaction like to pollen, to different things. They still haven't figured out the why it happened with venom. I think, me personally, it's just like anything else, like I said, with the dust, because it becomes like a fine particle and you break that stuff up and you breathe it in and it's slowly getting through your system. and your body either A, like you said, can become immune to it, or it can kill you.
Yes. Maybe that has something to do with it too. Whether how it enters the body, whether as a airborne pathogen or as bloodborne entrance, blood
Right.
barrier.
Yep. I mean, that's the thing. We never know. And like I said, that's something, you figure people would want to be more research on so others can avoid that situation.
Um, that's where the research really catches my curiosity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it is. And it's, and that's once again back to there's careless fucking people out there that keep venomous that do stupid shit. There's YouTube channels that it's got a huge following just because they're fucking idiots doing the stuff on there. And it's hurting everybody.
Yeah, it hurts the community.
Bad. That's why these that's why politicians are getting into the whole trying to make laws where we can't keep nothing. There's states right now that's outlawed a lot of animals
Yeah,
because of irresponsibility.
yeah. I mean, even for let's say licensed people that were once licensed, it also affects them.
Yeah, some of these people, this is their livelihood. That's the problem. They made a business out of this, and because of idiots, it affects them.
Yeah.
That's like South Carolina, Alabama, and North Carolina. I think's outlawed all the tegus now because they've gotten loose. People's let them loose, and it
Yep.
used to never be that way.
Well, now that I think I was uh mentioned to you, and we were talking about one of the episodes is when something gets released into an ecosystem that it's not native to, just how much it can flip that whole ecosystem upside down.
Right. I mean, and it does happen over time. It's not like it's all happening like as soon as it gets released. It over time. I mean, that's all it is. It's an over time thing.
With some species breed fast.
Oh yeah. Well, when you got Burmese, they can have up to 100 eggs inside of them, dude. So I
Yeah.
mean, I mean, with that situation, Snake Catchem YouTube channel. As much as he's a reptile lover, he's a licensed python hunter in Florida. He just caught an 18-foot female that he found on a nest. 103 eggs he found in this nest that was ready to hatch within the next 2 weeks. Yeah. So he just took out an 18-foot female and 103, and they euthanized every one of them because of it, because of this going on, which sucks. Burmese are beautiful snakes, but it's just one of those deals, man.
See, here's my point of view on it. Couldn't you possibly take that animal and transport it to where its native habitat even would be?
No, they will not let
No.
it go back to Africa or any of the other places that it was originally from.
Yeah. Because yeah, what if it takes something with it?
Exactly.
Oh man, that's a horrible thing to see though.
It is, and it hurts them. Well, that's like too. Florida's got it because they're invasive. The chameleons, shit like that. If you see them, tourists see them, everything else. You're actually supposed to call Fish and Wildlife, and they're supposed to be euthanized, or a person that's licensed to keep them can have them. But there's so many invasive species because of the pet trade down there in the southern states, mostly Florida, that it's hard for people to keep
Well,
anything anymore.
here's the thing: we got species that are going invasive where they're running too many of them, and then
Yeah,
calling that in check. And let's say it gets called over in check to where all of a sudden it's went from overabundance into barely any.
right. It's just crazy the way it is.
I mean, I'm only in my 20s, but I can at least say that from vague memory, 10 to even a little bit less than 20 years ago, ecosystems were different because species weren't rampaged and also some species weren't extinct.
Well, and that's the thing people don't realize too. When that hurricane hit down, it hit a huge breeding facility. That
Yes.
that was another thing that happened. Um, Stuff got loose from it and everything else. A big business in Florida, and it happens. But on top of that, once again, it comes back to where I said earlier, the irresponsibility of people. Oh, this cute little animal, and then it gets too big and they don't know what to do with it. So guess what? It gets shoved to the outside like a cat or something.
I mean, I well, you've heard of the cases where, let's say, pet stores and things like that, people go dumpster diving, right? And they
Oh
find
yeah.
live animals in the fucking dumpster.
Yep.
Like, dude, you are a licensed pet trade. What are you doing?
Well, that's like my son to bring up since we're to animals too. He worked at TSC. What birds they don't sell? They chickens. If they can't sell them or they don't take them home, they take the chicks out back and break their necks and throw them in the dumpster.
Yeah, and some of them aren't all the way taken care of.
Yeah. So he ended up the line. We ended up with six more chickens at one time. This was about a couple years ago, and we ended up with chickens. He's like, Dad, that's it's our protocol. He goes, everybody didn't have room, and we did. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Mm, yeah. Uh, that speaks a pretty loud message to me.
Oh yeah,
We,
yeah, and it's just a shame that, like I said, animals pay the price for irresponsibility. The sad part is like kids, irresponsible parents.
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
So I mean, it's a what we call vicious cycle, dude. I mean, that's the shitty part of the whole
yeah,
ordeal.
yes,
It ain't just us humans. It's nature. Period.
yeah. Oh yeah. Uh, One of the far from prettiest sides of it.
Yeah, it's a shame it's that way.
Well, yeah, when it comes to that, I mean, yeah, you look at humans. We are one of the main species, well, if not the main species on this planet, right?
And we're the most
We
and we're the worst to our own ecosystem.
That's exactly what I was going to say. We have what was given, no matter what people want to look at it as, give it a name or not, the obligation as a species to live on this planet as the prime species and see it through. Um, Also, having done one of the jobs of eradication to most species out there.
Right. Yeah, and it's a shame it's that way. But yeah, man, I mean that's where it is. It's with the animal side, it's strictly education and good ambassadors for it, man, and people to take the time to do that stuff.
Well, yeah,
That's what it all boils down to. Well,
yeah.
and I mean, that's the thing. Go ahead, Johnny. What you got to add, buddy?
Yeah. All I was gonna say, if you look at species that would normally, unless we had intervened, be living their lives out in the wild and be very apex predator in their environment.
Yep.
And so when we get them to where they are, um, that's what I'm trying to use here, um, tamed, domesticated, and then all of a sudden you have generations down from domestication where it just that animal itself doesn't knows nothing of nature or the wild.
Well,
When it,
look at the signs posted anymore in Florida now because people feed the gators, and they wonder why people are getting attacked by gators. They're not meant to be for humans, and that's why they're not afraid of people.
right, so that when it comes to an animal like that that's not afraid of people, it as we just said, it can have consequences.
And the animal's the one that gets punished for it. That's the shitty part. That's why they're called nuisance gators because people fucking feed them, and then they get sent off to
Well,
hunting properties as trophies because
well,
people are irresponsible.
here's the thing: people when they take the concept of nature being respectively afraid of humankind, it's gone both north and south, polar opposite directions, right? Towards
Right.
ultimately tamed down or hunted to extinction. Why isn't there a happy medium for this?
Because once again, uneducated. That's the
That's what it
shitty part.
boils down to.
It it is. It really is, and it sucks. It's that way.
You have an animal that thrives in its environment, and you have human intervention, where all of a sudden that animal doesn't thrive in its environment anymore.
Right. And it's just and it relies on us.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, and that's what it is. Hey, what's up, Lazy? Thanks for
Good to
coming
see you,
in,
Jedi
buddy.
brother.
But yeah, man, I mean, that's it boils down to animals are punished,
Yeah, yeah.
and it sucks that it's that way.
Well, yeah. It it's similar to the concept. If anybody's heard the statement, "sins of our fathers," right? Why is something else or another generation or another species, let's say in this case, taking the brunt for something that species didn't do?
Yep, unfortunately, that's what it is, man. And like I said, this is where all these people are lobbying for all these laws or bans on stuff.
You know, yeah.
And it's just it is what it is. Because up here in Ohio, before we had our that big ordeal, you used to be able to keep everything and anything animal wise, mountain lions, bobcats, tigers, all this shit before what they called the Zanesville massacre.
Oh,
You didn't really have to have permits or nothing for this stuff.
that that was a sad event. It was. That
It
that event was
was.
fucking heartbreaking.
Well, and I did some more digging and found out besides the guy was crazy, um, there was some couple big name people that did not appreciate what that guy was doing and wanted them shut down. So instead of him shutting down willingly and giving his animals away, he turned them loose and the animals got punished for it and he ended up taking his own life.
Yeah. Ultimately, something that ended one of the worst ways possible that could have ultimately really easily been avoided.
Yep. And the sad part is found out Jack Hanna, the biggest one of the biggest names at the time, was part of the reason behind that whole ordeal.
What?
For the Columbus Zoo ambassador and Busch Gardens ambassador. Yep. There was stuff finally leaked out what started that, besides the guy being a little in the head.
So he had a hand in it, is what you're saying?
Why the guy did what he did. He's one of the ones that advocated pushing. They said for him to get rid of that stuff because the guy did it as a private zoo. People could go do tours and everything else in this zoo. And years later, it finally got leaked out. How we almost lost our Columbus Zoo because of shit Jack Hanna and the president was doing with illegal money and stuff too. There was laundering money and everything else, man.
That stings, man. I looked up to him a lot growing up.
I did too until all that shit came out about 10 years later after the massacre happened and Jack Hanna got severely sick.
Yeah, man. He had a VHS series that I used to watch the whole series of order after order, time after time, repeatedly.
Watched
About
him
just
on Channel 4. He had his own thing from Busch Gardens in the Columbus Zoo that he did educational stuff on all the time.
you remember the series called Zoo Life?
That was him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they did the TV series and then like you said, you
Mm,
get the VH. Yep. He was not as clean nosed as everybody thought. And there's
breaks
a
my
lot
heart
of
to hear
people
that.
out there though that are like that. There's a lot of big name people out there that's been drugged through the dirt because they're dirty people. And that's another reason they hurt our communities.
Yeah.
Then you got the ones that are fighting for our communities, but because they were at one time affiliated, guilt by association once again.
Yep.
So I mean that hurts shit. But yeah,
It does.
it's always going to be an uphill battle, man. With especially on the reptile side, it's going to be an uphill battle keeping these animals and doing businesses with them and everything else because of irresponsible people. And there's so many regulations you got to go through. There's so many this and that. I mean, it's ridiculous.
It,
I mean, I get it, but it's just it makes it rough.
only at some point, it's one of those issues that at some point it's going to have such a toll on nature and the ecosystem of the world itself. We'll have no choice but to ask um, consciousness about it.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, man, that's just what it boils down to, dude. We got to get the proper education out there. Um, I don't know everything, but from researching and watching and trying to help spread the good word is all we can do, and hopefully it reaches people, the right people,
I mean,
to spread the awareness and to help keep things going. If not, we
yeah,
ain't gonna have none of the stuff.
no,
I mean, how the motorsports side of things is the same way. We're dealing with people that move in 2 or 3 miles near or next door to a fucking track and then start bitching and complaining because of noise. Hey, dumbass, you moved there. You knew it was there, but they're still trying to get. And some places the tracks has got shut down because of it.
right.
Yeah, and it's
You,
ridiculous.
not only is there no appreciation for the practices, but it's pushing out the practice that exists and pushing it out to where it has no more room left to even
Right,
function.
and that's like I was dealing with at my local track. They built the track was built in 1956. Nothing around it but farmland at the time. They built
Yep.
around trailer parks around it. People are
Yeah,
bitching of the noise. Well, guess what? That track's been there before the 60s, so it stays. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
It's that track is actually some of those people's lives.
Yep. But yeah, it's just one of those deals, man. It's animals are the same way.
Indeed.
Speaking of fur balls,
He
decided to be sociable tonight.
doesn't want to be alone.
See, and that's the thing with between cats and dogs, man. Cats, when they want attention, they come and give it to you. But when they don't want to be bothered, they fucking let you know.
Yeah.
They definitely let you know.
She's very much like that. She can be attention 1 second, and then the next, get away from here. I'm gonna claw you.
Yep, or bite you. But yeah, I mean, but everything is that way, though. I mean, that's the thing. It's that way. So,
Well, it it's like we talked about a couple of times, Wally brother, about understanding a different species' body language, right?
yep. And like I said, everything's got a different way of responding. We have to we have to learn that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, uh, there is. How do I say? I've heard the opinion that, let's say, humans are the tending species in the planet. I've heard two different sides of that. That it can be a huge help to nature, in that we are that species on the planet, so why care? And I'll be honest, the latter makes me nauseous, man, because I wonder how far down the rabbit hole that depreciation is gonna go.
And sad part is it's only getting deeper. It really is.
I mean, we only know we for all we know, if there's only one end game to that. It's not a good one.
No, not for anything. And that's all
Nah, man.
around. It's all around. So, but yeah, you got anything you want to talk about tonight, man? I mean, topic wise, and anything more other than what we've been talking?
Ah, I've been just flowing conversation naturally here. I usually have some bullet point notes pinned out here, but I kind of forgot to do that tonight.
It's all good, man. But yeah, I just like I said, I brought to the table. But yeah, I mean, other than that, thank you. I think we're good for tonight for an hour show. Um, Appreciate everybody in the chatters box. Thank you guys for your questions. Thanks for tuning in for the first episode of Cold Blooded Conversations of the new year. Um, Plenty more to come as the year goes on and stuff. If you guys didn't get a chance, Johnny, I'm gonna drop you down for a second too.
Yes, sir.
Um,
It's
that's the new logo that was created for this podcast. And Monday, like I said, on Speedway Stories, I will debut the new logo for Speedway Stories. Um, this is something me and Glick put together. He put his finishing touches on it for me. I found him this picture and everything to use. I really like it. It really sticks out. But yeah, thanks for everybody once again tuning in. Johnny, once again, thank you for coming up and being a kick-ass co-host as always.
Thank you, brother. I
But
was glad
yeah,
to be here.
you guys get any chance, like I said, go to usart.com. Check them out and everything else. Get your information. Hit up YouTube channels that I've done. Like I said, next show, I'll make a list of popular channels that are very educational if you guys want to check them out and stuff that I follow on pretty much anything from venomous to big cats, all that stuff and everything, and show you their side of keeping. They give you their everyday life, show you what they do for their passion and love for animals, man. I mean, I love it. It'd be awesome to be able to do what some of these are doing. But yeah, just keep plugging away. Follow your dreams. Don't let anybody tell you any different. It's taken a long time to learn this, but yeah, follow your dreams and everything else, and fuck everybody else that doesn't like what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. Make positive out of it, and yeah, it's not going to be easy, but definitely keep your head held high. Keep pushing forward. It may not happen overnight, but it'll eventually happen. You guys all have a good evening. Thank you for tuning in to Cold Blooded Conversations. I'll catch
Cheers,
you
brother.
guys Monday night on Speedway Stories. And also, don't forget to tune in. Tomorrow night is should be movie night with Michael. It's at 8 o'clock. Um, then Saturday is our nonsensical nonsense, where we have an open panel challenge. You guys can come up, hang out, shoot the shit with everybody. Usually comes up from the network and stuff and hangs out. It's a good time. Sunday is unnecessary roughness with Glick and Rick. They talk all things football. College playoffs and the NFL playoffs are in full swing. So we'll be talking. They'll be talking about it. Usually, I pop in the chatters box. They're up on talk some football with those guys. I don't know if back to Saturday. I don't know if there's going to be a Cash's Corner this weekend, which I think there is. They talk all wrestling, WWE wrestling and stuff. So if you're a big wrestling fan, tune into that. That's usually at noon. It's every other Saturday. And then we're back here Monday night with Speedway Stories. I have a guest, Tim Warner. He drives the Mega Truck Wrong Turn 2.0. He's actually not too far local Mega Truck racer. Um, he's raced besides the big names Dennis Anderson and his sons and stuff with the Mega
Nice.
Trucks. He's been down to Dennis Anderson's Devil Hills, North Carolina, and raced during his big events he puts on, and he travels. He's taking the time out Monday night to come up and talk some mega truck racing and motorsports and stuff, and the business side of doing about sponsors, everything else, and what it takes to run a race operation, running mega trucks. So Tuesday, I don't know. I'm hoping Glick's got Glick's House of Music. We'll see what happens. I know with it being the winter, a lot of bands are out doing their concerts still and stuff indoors and everything. We'll see what happens there. And then Wednesday is Hump Day Ha-Has with Brittany and Michael. And then we're back here Thursday night with Cold Blooded Conversations, and I will bring in the list of YouTube channel followers, and I will share that snake bite protocol that I have of the rattlesnakes and stuff, and give out some information on it and the location for that too, to if you're in, people are interested. Like I said, once again, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Appreciate you all. Make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Click that notification bell. There's shows 7 days a week, so everybody tune in. There's something for everybody. You guys have a good evening. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.
Good night.